Welcome to this channel, where you'll learn English in a simple, practical, and natural way.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn English Naturally. Just listen, relax, and enjoy the story. Entering the airport for the first time, Pedro arrives at the airport early in the day. He stops outside for a moment, not because he is tired, but because everything feels new. The sky is bright and the air feels fresh. Cars stop for a few seconds and then move again. People open doors, take their bags, and walk quickly in different directions. Some pull large suitcases with soft rolling sounds, while others carry small bags and move with confidence. Pedro watches quietly. The doors open and close again and again. People walk in, people walk out. For a moment, he feels like he is between two different worlds. Then he takes a slow breath and walks forward. Inside, the air feels cooler. The sounds change into voices, steps, and distant announcements. Everything feels bigger. Pedro stays calm and looks around before continuing. Looking for the check-in area, Pedro walks deeper into the airport and looks up at the signs above him. The signs show directions, like flights, gates, check-in, and security. He reads slowly, one word at a time. Some words feel familiar, but others are new, so he takes his time. People pass by him from both sides. Some walk fast, others move more calmly. Pedro notices a couple looking at a sign and then choosing a direction without hesitation. That small moment helps him. He stops for a second, looks again at the signs, and then at the people moving around him. He's not completely sure, but he decides to move. He chooses a direction and starts walking with a little more confidence. Waiting in line. After walking for a short time, Pedro arrives at a large area with many counters and long lines. Each counter has a number and a screen. People are waiting patiently and the lines move slowly. Pedro observes carefully. He looks at different lines and checks the screens more than once. He does not want to make a mistake. After a moment, he chooses a line and walks to the end. He holds his bag and waits. The line moves little by little, one step, then another. In front of him, someone checks a phone. Behind him, a suitcase moves slowly across the floor. A child laughs somewhere nearby. Pedro stays quiet. He looks around for a moment, then focuses forward again. He waits calmly and patiently. At the counter, after some time, Pedro reaches the counter. A worker greets him with a calm voice. Pedro listens carefully and responds slowly. He tries to speak clearly, even if he is not perfect. He gives his document, and the worker begins to type on a keyboard. Pedro watches the movement and then looks at the screen, trying to understand what is happening. The worker asks a simple question. Pedro takes a moment, then answers in a calm way. The worker takes his bag, places it on a scale, and then sends it away on a moving belt. Pedro watches the bag as it disappears. Then the worker gives him a paper. Pedro takes it carefully, looks at it, and reads what he can. He nods slightly and steps away. Going through security, Pedro walks toward the security area. This time, he stops first and observes. People place their belongings in trays and follow a clear process. Pedro watches each step. Then he feels ready. He takes a tray and places his bag inside. He takes his phone and puts it next to it. He looks at everything for a moment, then pushes the tray forward. When it is his turn, he walks toward the machine. A worker gestures, and Pedro understands. He walks through slowly, stands still for a second, and then continues. On the other side, he takes his things and organizes them carefully. He checks his pockets before moving again. Waiting at the gate, Pedro arrives at a quieter area with many seats and large windows. Outside, airplanes are parked, and some move slowly in the distance. He sits down and places his bag next to him. Around him, people speak softly or look at their phones. The environment feels calm. Pedro looks at a screen near the gate. It shows numbers, times, and letters. He reads slowly, one line at a time, sometimes repeating the information to be sure. An announcement sounds in the distance. Pedro listens and understands only a few words, but he stays calm. Then he looks outside again and waits. Boarding the plane. After a while, people begin to stand and form a line. Pedro stands up, takes his bag, and joins them. He holds his paper and moves step by step as the line advances. When it is his turn, he gives his paper to the worker. The worker checks it and gives it back. Pedro says, "Thank you," and continues walking. He enters a narrow space where the sound becomes softer. Then he steps inside the plane and pauses for a moment. Everything feels new. He walks slowly down the aisle, looking at the seat numbers one by one. Finally, he finds his seat. He places his bag above him, adjusts it carefully, and sits down. Pedro looks around quietly and takes a slow breath. Everything is new, but he feels calm and ready. Pedro is on the plane. He is tired, but he is very happy. Can you guess his next destination? Look at the map and look at his bag. Where is Pedro going? If you want to know, watch the next video. Write your answer in the comments right now. Subscribe to the channel for the next story. See you soon.